We talk to bands all the time that talk about performing in Japan and how different the audiences are there than here. What songs do they really love that maybe are different songs than people in the States like?
Take me back to Tokyo Road.
They're very kind of, they actually go crazy for about 10 seconds at the end of every show. I mean, at the end of every song, you know what I mean? They kind of go, and all together go, and that's where it's at, man. And it's funny because they file into the stadium, like, you know, 55,000 people file in one by one. And then at the end of the show, the last row goes out first.
That's true.
So the people in the front that waited, you know, that probably spent all their cash and...
Hour and a half later, the people in the front row are
they're still sitting there like this.
They pick up all their trash when they leave. Like if there's any, you know, cups, napkins, they take it all with them, and they file out. You try that in New York sometime.
Yeah, right. Tell a couple New Yorkers that here.
They'd be fighting you. You know, hour and a half later, you know, we'll be leaving the stadium, and you still see the guy in the front row going... It's just the way it is. It's very strange. And it used to be, you know, because we've been going there, what, 16, 17 years now, when they would, you know, really traditionally come in the kimonos and the wooden slippers and the hair up and, you know, all that kind of stuff. They've become a lot more Americanized. But it's been a good place for us for a lot of years. A lot of years.
They've accepted us. You know, it's very strange because, you know, you're speaking American and you're singing in American. And, I mean, everywhere we've gone over the past 18 years, it's strange, man. I mean, we started off our last tour in 1995 in Bombay, India. 54,000 people showed up and sung, you know, they were singing every word. So.
And things like they couldn't build a barricade, but the whole piece that the whole Indian culture was at, it was like, don't worry, man. You know, we'll build one. They build it out of sticks and stones and mud, and of course no one's going to charge the barricade, A, because they've not really ever had many big rock shows like that, but B, because they were just so cool with who they were and what they were, and it was a great experience. So sometimes it's pretty cool to go to different cultures and check that out. Yeah.
Are there a set of concerts that do set out, or, you know, in your mind, what have been your favorite ones throughout the years, or
I'd say there's a handful. Obviously, Wembley's always, you know, Wembley's such a famous place, you know, Live Aid and all this stuff, you know, and having been chosen to close the joint 2 nights in, last month, we did it 5 times over the years. That's 72,000 a night, and that's a pretty cool place.
Yeah, it's fun.
That's a highlight. Giant stadium, of course, because it's home.
I think the phenomenal thing about you guys is that you're able to come together as a group whenever you want and able to go off and do solo projects without any of the ego thrown in and all of that. We've seen that with Richie came by to the station with his solo project. And then you guys come back together. A lot of groups cannot do that. And what do you credit that to with you guys?
I think we encourage each other to do that. Plus, I think we learned a lesson. You know, we were so enormously successful with Slippery in New Jersey that it became where we were, without knowing it, reliant on the band. No one was married, no one had a house, no one had any responsibilities. All we had was the band. And it will kill you when you're doing 240 show tours year after year after year. It has nothing that anybody who's done it before you can tell you. It has nothing that we can tell a new band that's going to, you know, the Backstreet NSYNC kind of world now to explain to them, don't worry, this is going to happen to you. But when that did happen to us and we walked away from it, not saying, I hate you, this band's breaking up, but dazed and confused, when we realized what the problem was, is that there wasn't a problem, we were just exhausted. And if you encourage each other to do other things and you're not reliant on this, then you get back to what it was that made you love it in the first place. Sitting down here with a guitar and playing. Yeah, you know, and it's not about the business and the records and the hits and the radio and it will kill you.
Do you look to the longevity of something like a Rolling Stones? Do you ever think about how long you guys can go on together?
Yeah, man. As long as it's fun, and you know, John often says now it's like we're past the point of breaking up. You know, why? You know, it doesn't make any sense. I mean, you know, we get together and we're still friends and we still make good music, and I think
still have you guys. That's right.
That's right. And that's a big thing too. The demand, you know, that's a big magnet to what happens with this whole band. You know,
I mean, people come up to us now and they go, "Gee, you're a new band." You go, "Oh, okay." You know, And where'd you come from? I say, ask your mama.
Speaking of your mama, what's her favorite song?
Oh God, everyone. You know,
Everyone?
She thinks she gave birth to Jesus. You know, the babies. Hey, my parents just sold their house and they're moving. You know, like in New Jersey there, and this is really goofy. I don't even know what I'm telling you this, but they're buying another house and they move into this neighborhood. And the realtor says to them, over there lives another lady that you may have heard of. And my mother went and knocked on the door and she says, hello, Mrs. Springsteen. I'm Mrs. Bon Jovi. I'm Okay, now could you imagine these two old ladies sitting there, each patting? How come you only got one arm? The other one's patting myself on the back right now. I can't imagine what that conversation was.
Bon Jovi, Star 94.
Another in a series of our special Star 94 concerts. It's John Bon Jovi and Richie Sambora from Tuesday on the Steve and Vicky Morning Show.
On a day off, what would be a perfect day?
Me, I guess sitting around my family, I think, would be the thing, because we spend a lot of time apart. So, going down to the beach with my wife and kid and sharing some quality time there, probably.
Sunday was one of those days. It was gorgeous. I was on the boat. Yeah. Giants won, Jets won.
Yeah,
ate junk food all day long.
Being a guy, just being,
just being one of the guys.
Just being one of the guys.
Right.
Scratching, burping.
Yeah, exactly. And doing that with your son. Now you got two generations to do that. Yeah, it's cool.
Who has not asked a question here today that's dying to ask a question?